So the Skate Progression podcast is back, and we're starting off with an absolute banger with Douwe Macare. Douwe has a real unique style of skating with super long lines full of tech tricks and hammers. He's so consistent and precise in the way that he skates, and after speaking to him in this interview, I realized that that didn't happen by accident. Douwe has really put in a lot of work to get as good as he is, and in this interview he shares a lot of his processes, his techniques around learning tricks, around overcoming fear, how to get consistent, how he approaches different tricks and when to walk away to avoid getting injured. He also shares different techniques that he used to stay calm in competitions and what he does off his board to actually stay on point and stay fresh. So if you're interested in learning a bunch of techniques to progress fast on your board, then get your pen and paper out because this one's full of them. You're going to leave with a massive list of stuff that you can apply today. So massive thanks for Douwe for dropping his knowledge in this podcast and being willing to sit down in the rain. We did the whole podcast in the rain, but it's a good one. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's get it. I love this setup.
Yeah, let's go. VIP. Sunny Barcelona.
Sunny Barcelona. Here we are.
The worst day.
All right, okay, Douwe.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to start off straight in there with fear. Let's imagine you're in one of those situations we've all been in, right? Mm-hmm. Where you're trying a trick you're scared of, you roll up multiple times, and you're just really struggling to like go for it or like fully commit.
Yeah.
Like, what kinds of techniques or processes have you used in these situations to overcome fear and like get yourself to commit?
Well, that really depends on the spot because imagine if you're skating a 10 stair, but also the spot contains like a 7 or 8 stair. You're of course going to practice there first.
Right.
So to build up your confidence. But if that's not there, try to be completely warmed up so you won't get hurt from not doing a warm-up and tear your muscle because it's cold. So I would say these are the basic things. And then make sure you go to the spot with a plan. So imagine if I want to kickflip a 10 stair, I first go to the skate park to make sure my kickflip are good. My my shoes are in good condition, my board is in good condition, so I don't get with the new shoe, new board Casper flip thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay,
so your board just flips completely wrong. So make sure that's all said and done, and then you come to the spot. And the thing that I feel like if I go to a spot and I see the spot and I know what trick I want to do, I can instantly know, okay, I'm capable of doing this or not. There's not much of it in between. And the thing is, if I know I can do it, I might go for it as soon as possible, as soon as the film is already, as soon as we know the angle, because the longer you're there, the bigger it gets.
Okay, yeah,
usually, for me personally. And also in the back of my head thinking, okay, I've practiced this 100,000 times. It's just a little bit bigger or a little bit further or a little bit more scary, but I should be able to do this. And besides that, I'm training a lot. So my body is also capable to embrace the impact, so to speak.
Right.
So it's usually what I heard on, what is it? I think it was Huberman Lab, the podcast. I think it's a neuroscientist.
Neuroscientist, yeah. He also skates, you know.
He also skates, so he actually goes into this a bit. Yeah. And he's like 80% or some high level of thoughts we have on a daily basis are like worst case scenarios. Because that keeps us safe, and that's from way back when we were like not as modern as we are now. So that also keeps in mind, like every time you're trying something that fears you, it's always the worst case scenario that comes up in your head, but it's not rational. It's like it's a little bit more. I don't know the word.
It's like a safety, like defense mechanism.
It's a defense mechanism, exactly. So I always try to find the line between what's rational and what's for safety. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. And like you've learned over time, like what you're capable to do.
Exactly.
So you've in that situation, like, am I capable of doing this or not? And then you can use that knowledge to be like, all right, that thought is rational or it's not.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also it just you can decide in a split second if you want to do it or not, because it rarely happens when I get to a spot and I don't feel like doing anything and I still do something. Like that sometimes happens when I get peer pressure, pushed by the home. I'm sure you can do this. And sometimes it gets me over the, how do you say, like fear or like, motivation. But it's, it mostly is just all here.
Right.
I guess that makes, for me, it makes sense, but...
no, it makes a lot of sense, man. It makes a lot of sense. And going back to, you were saying, like, sometimes you get to the spot and you even know you'll know that you can do it, or certain times you'll know that you can't do it. For those situations when you're like, okay, shit, maybe I can't do it. What's the process then behind the scenes to come back around to that spot again in the future and actually be able to do it?
I would say just practice more. And I mean, it's hard to actually go to. I mean, I would say just whenever I'm at the stair and I feel like kickflip was already heavy on my legs, I'm not going to try backside flip because that's going to be more heavy. Then it really depends on the situation, because sometimes it can feel like you're tired because you already had sessions or you had the gym session or whatever. So you can come back another day and start fresh. Or if it's really a technical maneuver that you can't do yet, then you just should practice on lower obstacles. That's kind of the whole level situation. Yeah,
100%.
And I think that's about it. It's really basic. It's not that. It's usually not that complicated.
It's
100%.
Yeah. People often want these like real complicated like magic hacks, but in a lot of situations, it's just like, dude, practice and be progressive with what you're.
I mean, sometimes I'm at the skate park or spot and I see somebody practicing their first ollie or kickflip, and there's almost no progression in the tries. And then I look at it for maybe like a few tries. And I'm like, oh, I'm so happy I've been there and done that.
Right. You don't have to go through it again.
Yeah, but because it kind of gets easier along the way, because you know certain hacks like, oh, I think I should work with my shoulders a little bit more. And they're like, okay. So, you kind of find a certain quick fix in a way, but also not really.
Right.
But it's about enjoying the process and enjoying to learn something. Instead of focusing on the end situation, more or less.
I mean, that's so essential with skating, isn't it? Because like most of the attempts that we'll ever do won't be lands, at least when you're learning. But you've got to do those attempts to get to that final moment where you actually land the trick.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's also, if you translate the stuff that you do with skateboarding, so trying something over and over and fail until you reach that moment where you succeed and be happy for maybe 5 or 10 seconds. If you translate that to any other thing in life,
right,
you will make stuff happen.
100%.
That's weird. It's weird how that works. So,
do you think fear is something that you'll ever get rid of in skating?
No, but I think fear is also a good thing.
Right.
But you always have to. It's a very thin line, because. I would say, how I say this correctly, I would mostly get hurt on stupid stuff where I'm not fully concentrated. But as soon as fear comes in, and that also gives you like some sort of hyper focus, I mean, I never really get hurt that way, because I'm so focused and I'm completely try to get all the details dialed in. To get that trick done. So
details in, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, like my shoes has to be correctly. Like everything has to be set up nicely. And
so you basically try and remove like all of the other variables.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you can just go boom, like laser focus on the trick.
Exactly. And if I get hurt that way, then at least I did everything to,
right.
How do you say it? At least I did everything to eliminate stuff that I can't control.
Right.
So imagine if I'm trying a trick, and it suddenly starts raining, but I'm really close to doing the trick, I will stop, because there's a variable. There's a variable coming in from something that I can't control. So I might slip out, and whatever I get hurt on something that's out of my control. That's something.
Yeah, that's really wise.
Yeah, wise. But that comes with the years, because you're young 100%. And reckless. You're like, whatever, I'm gonna get it anyways. And it doesn't matter if somebody's laying on the landing, you will do it anyways. You know? But seriously, it goes like this. So when you get older, and also because it's my job, I know, okay, today I'm not pushing it to limits, but tomorrow I might be, and if not, the day after that.
Right.
And also. That's maybe another thing, but I'm trying to move my center instead of like all the peaks. they're not really interested to me. It's like moving the center more than getting peaks now.
So by the center, you mean like the gradual progression as opposed to like
exactly.
the occasional bangers?
Yeah, exactly.
That's really fucking wise as well.
That's I mean,
because it's so easy.
Because that's the longevity thing.
Exactly. And it's the same with training. Like if you randomly spike the intensity, like the recovery that you're gonna have, the damage you'll create, and the recovery that'll come from it.
And that's the same with
so much longer
skateboarding.
than if you're just like progressive.
Exactly. So, and then with that in mind, it doesn't matter how long you skate usually. So it can be 30 minutes, you have moved your center. It can be 3 hours and moved your center.
Yeah.
It's kind of, that's also.
I love that. That. Nice, man. So, Oi, the other day you posted first try fakie flip down Mac with 3.
Oh yeah.
That was fucking sick. Man.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Appreciate
like,
it.
Obviously, your ability to commit to that stuff, like that's come from like you've developed it over time, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah.
Is there anything like other than just being progressive that you've found has helped with like committing to like being able to just commit first try? Like other than just kind of like getting used to the trick and like putting in the work to
of course first try would always there would always be a little bit of luck involved, I would say.
Okay. But like that ability to commit though.
Yeah. Okay.
Because maybe like certain tricks I'll go and do and I'll like have to like flick it away, like kick it away to like get the feel of the spot or.
Because what I didn't show in the story was that I fakie ollied it a couple of times.
Okay, so you did have like a bit of a.
Of course, I'm not gonna pull up and fakie flip it straight away like that.
Could, though, to be fair.
I mean, if you're warm, yeah. If you're, I mean, maybe, but that's not like in line with how I approach skateboarding in my eyes. It's more like I'd rather jump down with something because I know I have fakie ollie maybe like let's say I'm pretty certain that I can do that. Let's say like 9 out of 10 or whatever, or maybe if there's a rock lane, but I'm sure that's not. But like something that's out of my control, I'm probably gonna do it 9 out of 10 times. But anyways, then with the fakie flip, I will do it like riding on the flat surface of the 3 block and do a fakie flip with the same speed I need down the 3 block.
Oh, with the same speed?
Yeah, with the same speed. And also see if my flick feels right. If it's a little slower, it's a little fast, and I do a couple of more until I feel like I need, when I feel like I have the flip under my feet that I need down the stairs.
Right.
Because it's obviously a different type of flip than you need on flat ground. I mean, in my case, I'm not sure how it is for other people.
Is it like a big difference for you in terms of like the flick that you do on flat in comparison to down something?
Sure, because in a line you don't have to put so much effort into the landing, so it doesn't matter if you land in like a switch position or a fakie position.
Right.
But down the stair you have to land bolt, so it kind of, for me, it makes a difference with foot positioning for sure. Because I can stand a little bit more on the side if I do a fake flip in a line, but down the stair set, if I stand a little bit more on the side, it might flip over a little bit or it flips too quick, stuff like that. So, but it's a minimum. It's like a really tiny difference.
Yeah,
but there is a difference.
Yeah. Man, that's interesting.
So we'll do like fakie ollie down a block, maybe 2 or 3 of them, depending on how I feel that day. If I feel a little bit rusty, I do a little more.
Yeah.
But then, and the fakie flip is just like, it sometimes works like that I have to do with one fakie ollie. Like imagine if it was like a 4 or 5 block where it would be really challenging for me. Like the 3 block is kind of okay because the impact's not that bad, but the 4 or 5 block would be a little bit more crazy. I would fakie ollie it first and then remember how long it takes me to be in the air and like kind of a little bit of muscle memory.
Right.
And then the kickflip would be kind of not the same as an ollie, but it's not that big of a difference for me usually.
Yeah.
So just do exactly the same. So we just
right.
I remember Shane O'Neill switch flipping the Santa Monica triple set.
Okay.
Every try before he would try switch double tray flip. He said this in the interview.
Wait, say that again. He would switch double tray.
No,
before...
he would switch flip the Santa Monica triple flip every try before he would commit one try to the switch double tray flip.
Really?
Yeah.
So wait, he would do like
interview.
so he would try like a switch double, like a switch flip, land it,
and then run back
switch double tray. And then he would have to go back to the switch flip before he then did the switch double tray again.
Yeah.
Really? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, you think that's... Because
yeah. I mean, just to do a trick, I mean, obviously for him it's not that hard, but it's still fucking
but it is. I think it's hard in the sense of it gives you enough motivation to fully commit for the trick you really want.
Right.
And that's
but then what if you fuck up the switch flip? I mean, for him, it's probably not going to happen.
No, it will happen, but then it's even more motivating to first get the switch flip and then get the switch flip. Because this is like
that?
Yeah, I do it all the time. So if it's like something that's challenging for me, then I would first do the more basic trick. Let's say I would first do a fakie ollie down 3 block, and then I would walk or run back, do one fakie flip or flat on the way to the roll up, or to the run up, and then go back and then do the full fakie flip.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
it's a way to motivate you.
Regular thing that you do.
Yeah, it's like
easier trick down the block.
It's like a superset.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but that I mean, at least if you're trying to motivate yourself to really go for the trick, like some people don't need it. Some people don't need it, but I do find it interesting to actually do because it just gives you the closest example of how that trick.
Right. Yeah. You're kind of like teaching your body what. Yeah. Okay. Interesting, man. That's really fucking useful. Going back to like how tricks are different as well, like down gaps in comparison to like on flat. Like, what are some other changes that you've noticed, or some other things that you have to do when you're doing a trick down a gap, as opposed to doing it on flat? I was trying to, like, the nollie flip I was trying the other day at Mac, but down the 5, like, I figured out in the moment what I was doing wrong. Like, I can nollie flip down like a 3 or on flat, like, every go, pretty much, like 9 out of 10. But then, because it's been a while since I've been skating stairs, like, then trying it down the 5, I noticed that, like, as I was popping, I would, like, turn like this.
For safety.
Exactly.
That happens a lot.
So then I was like, okay, fuck, there's something that I need to make sure that I'm focusing on doing this extra thing of keeping my body back to then, like, be able to land it. And then I did that, and it was pretty much, like, it was easier. Landed them pretty fast.
That's funny. Just one small change can like actually land you, can give you, let's say, like 50% more landing chance. Is that the way to put it? Yeah, I guess.
Are there any things that you've noticed like have really helped with increasing that like landing chance? Let's say.
Small changes could be that. I always, whenever I'm skating a gap, I always first ollie it so I can see what the slowest is I can go to make it down the gap. Because the slower, for me personally, the slower I go, the more control I have over my flip trick.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
And sometimes you have to go faster down the gap with the ollie than with a 180. So I imagine going.
You can push the 180 forwards.
Exactly. So I know I have to go faster over the gap with a kickflip than with a backside flip. So, and I like to go as slow as possible down the gap, still making it over, of course.
Yeah.
Because that gives me more control over my flip.
I love that. Yeah, that's really useful.
Because it actually happened in Barcelona because we went to the 7 block in the stadium.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's massive. But this was a long time ago, maybe 12 years or something. And I always wanted to switch flip it. So I went there. I was like, fuck it, guys, I go straight for the switch flip. And I went way too fast. I skated like it was a 10 block or some shit like that, and I straight up bust my heel. And I was like, couldn't skate for the rest of the trip. Yeah, low impact, but nothing mentionable. So like, fuck. So I went back maybe a couple of months later, and I first ollied it, and I ollied it again. I went slower and slower and slower. Like, you actually don't need to go that fast. And then I tried switch flip. I still didn't land it, but I landed on my board multiple times, but I couldn't get the roll away. But then that reminded me of, okay, at least I didn't get hurt on my heel because I was almost like slipping out on the pop because I was going so fast. So my advice would be always ollie it and always do a lesser trick than the trick you actually want to get your muscles to get your muscles used to the impact and to just the whole motion.
That's really useful because it's so true that when you're skating down a gap, it's so natural, again, for the safety mechanism reason, like
to go fast,
to go as fast as fucking possible, but to not land on the bottom step.
It's so not helpful because you're messing up your whole. I mean, okay, so if we're talking triple set where you have to go fast or some far gap, then what I did was trying the trick with the same speed on flat and trying to control it. So and then do the same thing over the gap, and that usually works.
Okay, cool. Nice, man.
And you can measure that out with trying to ollie down the gap, so you know how fast you can go, and then trying with the same speed the trick you want to do down a gap, and then just
sick. No, really useful stuff there.
Cool.
All right, so I mean, we've literally just had a workout together.
Yeah,
We've literally just got back from a workout. We did like an hour up here. You've been working out for a long time.
Yeah.
Like how many years have you been working out, and what kind of changes have you noticed on your skating since you started working out?
Well, a lot actually. But what happened was, so I started to actually get a paycheck from skating, and I was like, okay, so sponsors kind of expect me to take this shit a little bit more serious, otherwise they wouldn't put any money into me. So I always was, and I knew through a friend that that knew a personal trainer. I would like call him like, hey, would you be able to train with me? He was like, yeah, no problem. Hook me up after your next trip, because he had stuff to do and I had to go to Barcelona actually. So I went to Barcelona and there was this contest, some Mountain Dew contest, like some World Cup final, some shit like that. But then I was a little bit about partying at that time still. And then we would go the day before the contest, the day before the finals, I believe. We would go to the bar, because I was with 3 friends who didn't really had a mission there. They didn't skate the contest. Two were photographers. Yeah, 2, yeah, exactly. So bad. But one was a photographer, one was a filmer, and one was a host for some segment they were filming. So they didn't really had to perform. Of course, they did have to perform on their own level, but not physical stuff. And then they not dragged me into the club, but of course I was willing to go, but it was a little bit peer pressure. And then we ordered like some bucket full of Long Island iced tea. So we had 5 liters of Long Island iced tea, all with our own little tap.
Oh shit.
But I mean, it was 6 o'clock in the morning and I was like, I could see the course further up on the beach, because they set up a whole new park for the contest. And we sleeping around the corner in the hotel. I was like, okay, I have to actually be there in like 5 hours.
Nah,
so we might go back to sleep. So we went to the hotel, and then I was sharing a room with a friend of mine. I could actually take a homie with me. I forgot about him, but he was also there. So he was there just for partying, didn't have to do anything. So we were sharing a room. And I remember wanting to go to sleep. I was like, I need some water, otherwise tomorrow I'm going to have a massive headache. So I called up the room service. Hey, can you get me a bottle of water? Oh, yeah, sure. So somebody came but it's kind of a fancy hotel. So they gave me this glass bottle of water, like a big one. So I opened up the door. Oh, thank you, and closed the door. And the way back to my bed, it was dark in the room. I stepped on my skateboard, and I slipped out. And so it's like a movie. It's so stupid.
You ate shit,
And I dropped the bottle with glass all over the floor, and I stepped into the glass. And then I cut the underside of my foot, like pretty bad. It was like a big cut, but it was kind of on the surface, so it was not really deep. Luckily, otherwise it could have been my, I don't know, not my muscle, but like
some kind of vein or artery or something.
Yeah, exactly. Where you can't move your toe anymore, stuff like that, you know? And like it was pretty close to this, True. So I was completely sobered up again. It was like, whoa, what the fuck? Turn on the light. Hey, I think we have a problem here. So bleed all over because of all the alcohol. So my friend, it was like, you know what he's like I think how do you say he's working with concrete and stuff, so he doesn't know anything about doctor science, all that shit. He doesn't know.
Put some cement in.
Yeah, no, it could have been a good one. No, but what he says, like, ooh, Douwe, I'm not a doctor, but I don't think you can skate tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, sure, look, thanks a lot. But so we left, and then we called the hotel manager, and he cleaned the whole room, and he was like, you have to go to the hospital. I'm like, no, I was super scared because I never had stitches before. So like, no, get the fuck out of my room. I was like I was really defensive, you know. I was like super, because I was just super scared. Yeah. And then he left the room. The next day, after 4 hours of sleep, I woke up and you feel like in my feet. And I woke up like, oh, of course, I got this shit on my feet. And I got this old napkin from the room service food over my foot. So it looked like fucking some crazy horror scene.
Only a skater would fucking DIY something with a napkin with like bled all over the floor. You're like, no, I'm not going to hospital.
It might be better tomorrow. It's so stupid. So and then I asked my friend to come check it out, because he had a little bit more. I think he was a little bit more sober. So he came, and first time I saw him putting off his glasses, he's like, "We have to go to the hospital right now." I'm like, fuck, so it's really bad. Okay, then we might go. The hospital happened to be 2 doors down. So it was literally not even a block further. So, but it took maybe 20 minutes walk because we were like such a stumbling, couldn't really walk. And then they put, it was too late for stitches because it could only be like 8 hours after it, and we had to wait a long time. So the 8 hours suspended. So they put some, what is it? Sodium? No, was it sodium? I think sodium for disinfection.
Like
There's something that fucking hurts.
Some shit. Yeah. Okay.
So, but I was sweating all the alcohol out, and I was like, "Fuck!" And then I remember the nurse says, she couldn't really speak English, but she said, "I think all boys are pussy in hospital." That's what she said, and I had to laugh. It's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah, I remember this so good. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
But I was sitting in a wheelchair, like all fucked up, and then I had to take a cab from the hospital to the course to check out the final. And then I saw the level of skateboarding where I was like, fuck, at practice I did all these tricks and I think I could have done pretty good in this contest. So that was also kind of a sober up moment for me, a turning point.
Right.
And then I got back, healed up a couple of months. Actually it took half a year before it was completely gone because you know, placing your feet on your concave, it was really sensitive still, you know, or landing primo was the worst.
That's crazy, man, because you would have thought like the napkin would have like healed you quickly or something. You wouldn't know it would have taken so long.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly, mad scientist. Yeah. No, but yeah, it was super stupid, but it took a long time to heal, and I was like, fuck, if I actually want to take stuff serious, I have to do it now. I was 25, 26 at the moment, I think. I'm 31 now. Or maybe it's even longer ago, maybe 20. Anyway, around that time. And then I called up the personal trainer. I was like, hey, let's go train. And then we started training, and I really started to noticing differences within like a month, maybe two, where I could skate like the whole day, skate the same spots as my homies, but the next day they were all like done and have muscle aches and muscle pain, and I would be good to go. Yeah, exactly. So to come back to your question, yeah, a lot of
right.
So, but this is the turning point for me where something really bad happened, but it opened up the best and the nicest door for me ever.
Right,
actually.
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, yeah, like I was saying to you before as well, like that's how the daily push started for me, through like all of these crazy injuries, and I was like, well, maybe if I would have taken better care of myself, I could have avoided these shitty injuries and spent more time on the board. So what else did you notice then in terms of like benefits from training on your skating now? Like recovery, you were able to bounce back much faster and skate more? Like what else have you noticed?
Recovery and also just in general, I like to move more. Right. It just gives me in general more energy. It's really weird. So even if I didn't sleep well at night, I rather go to the gym than try to sleep a little bit more, because that gives me also more energy.
Yeah, there's studies on that show that like a lot of the negative side effects of a bad night's sleep are reduced after a workout.
Oh, really?
So you often think like, oh fuck, I'm so tired, I don't want to work out. But actually going to work out will help you feel better in the long run. Or not even in the long run, in the day. In
the day. So in the short run, perfect.
Short run, yeah.
Oh yeah, so this also works for me, and I lost some weight. So actually I have an old passport photo where I have like a rounded face, fucking crazy. This one is from a while ago, around the time where I started training. And also just because you're taking care of your body with movements and like training, you also just a side effect of this, at least for me, is that I try to eat better. I try to just be more conscious about just daily stuff.
Right. Like as opposed like a kind of trickle down effect to other healthy habits. And influence you to do other things.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you have the same, but 100%. For me that really works. Yeah.
And when you're more on top of stuff like working out, then all of the other stuff's more easy as well. Or if you fall off from say working out and you have some time off, then it's easier to eat shit and it's easier to like lose the other habits.
And also what I find interesting is that let's say the discipline of working out, not every day, but like to have it into your routine gives you a lot of freedom to also skip a day, because you know, the day after that I will be back.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it gives you a lot of freedom to, especially now when I'm here for like 1.5 weeks. We only did one workout, but that was okay because I know I did a lot of workouts when I'm at home, and and I will do it when I get back, to get this 1.5 weeks off and just fully focus on skateboarding, because in the end that's ultimately what you're working out for.
100%.
So
100%.
And yeah, that's
You said it had a lot of like positive impacts on like endurance as well. Like I was talking
For
about
sure,
your crazy lines, and you were like, "Well, those lines are thanks to training as well, right?"
For sure, yeah, and also it's just you know, what I read and what I heard is that your body is just as efficient as you wanted it to be. So I feel like if I didn't do a long line for like a couple of weeks, it actually takes me a little bit time to get back on the same level.
Right.
So it's really like how do you say it? Yeah. So I have to do it constantly to be on the same level, and I'm not talking tricks and technique. I'm talking the endurance, pure endurance.
100%.
And but I'm always trying to figure out lines where there's a climax effect. So so starting off with a more simple trick and then gradually work your way up to like the end climax. Like a full skate movie, like the best part is mostly the last part.
Right, like
and you start off with a good part, and then the middle section is like whatever, still good, but like it's just not filler, but like it's a little bit.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And then the last thing should be something that's worth waiting for.
Right.
So that's like the ingredients that are always in the top of my head. So I need to make sure that I have enough power in me to actually jump down a big block or actually do something that's technically asks technically a tall order for me to do.
Right,
yeah.
And that's what I always find so impressive about your lines is that like you do, I don't know, 10, 15 tricks, and then like the last trick is you jumping down like some fucking big block or like something super tech, and I'm like, how do you have the energy for that?
Yeah.
Like, you know, usually someone would get to that point and like the idea of having to do then the hardest trick at the end would be like impossible. Because usually people do like a few tricks on flat, then the big trick, and then the tricks afterwards would be like chill flat ones.
But the thing is, this comes back to what Shane O'Neill does. Is like he does a simpler trick and then has the full motivation to go for that harder trick. And that's how I started skateboarding, kind of with a good friend of mine. He doesn't skate anymore. But he is, we were always doing like when we were practicing new tricks, we would do a lap around the skate park, do a board slide there, 50-50 grind there, ollie there, and then we would go fully for the new trick.
Right.
And so it kind of came naturally to me to have like this sort of, one, it gives you more consistency, two, it gives you actually a good workout and you're sweating crazy.
Yeah.
And three, it gives you all these old tricks in your sleeve to really have the full motivation to go for the next trick, for your new trick.
Right,
it's like the special meter, the Tony Hawk special meter.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that is legit. The special meter is legit. I also do it like, okay, if I land a really good trick on flat, then I'm hyped up to do the trick down the gap or something like that.
So it works for you too. So you do the same.
I don't do lines as long as you.
Right.
But like I use the same method.
Maybe it's a little bit out of proportion. It could be. But sometimes I feel like I'm pushing the boundaries of people, their times.
In terms of like the time that they're willing to watch.
Yeah, because you can see your statistics, like how long people generally watch, and for some reason it's never more than, let's say, 10 seconds. But still, the people that do watch the whole thing, they like it. So
have you discovered like a peak line length for someone wanting to go viral on Instagram?
Oh no, not really. But let's say the first 2 or 3 seconds should be. How do you say,
get you interested?
Yeah. It should
spike the interest.
Spike the interest, and then the rest can be something to keep you there, like maybe I don't know, a good-looking trick or a few tricks back to back, and then the end game should be something big that whenever somebody watches the whole thing, like, cool, this was cool. I actually watched the whole thing, but it was worth waiting for. So,
exactly.
But lengthwise, it can be different all the time. But
right.
I don't know. Maybe I have no idea.
To be able to do those massive long lines, you've got to be super fucking consistent. And obviously, like, you're really consistent. What things have you done to like build that consistency, or what have you noticed has helped over time to build that consistency?
I would sometimes go. I mean, not anymore so much. But when I was younger, I would go to the skate park and choose one obstacle and do all the tricks that I knew on that obstacle. So, and if you do that often enough, and if you find it enjoyable to do that, then it can actually give you, how do you say? It gives you the consistency you might be looking for. Right. But it's a little bit the same with training. Like my trainer and me sometimes transfer training type of stuff that you do in the gym into skateboarding. So let's say you do 21 minutes 4 times, as many flip tricks as you want, as you can do. And then you make a list of how many there were, and then the next day you do it again, or like a week later you do it again, and see if the list is longer.
Wait, so that's something you do? You do like, okay, 20 minutes?
No, not all the time, but imagine if I skate alone, I might do that for fun, yeah.
Right,
because skating alone, it just doesn't really matter what you do.
So what, you'll set a timer and then just see like how many tricks you can do?
Yeah. So let's say I set a timer for maybe 15 or 16, or half an hour, whatever, how long you feel like skating, and you just do as many different flat ground tricks as you can.
That's sick, man. I like that. Yeah,
or you can do it the other way around. You set a what is it? A list of tricks, and you see how long it takes you to mark them all.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
That's also one that how do you say? We do that with training too. Let's say like something crazy, like 100 pull-ups, 100 push-ups, and 100 squats 4 times. How long does it take you to finish them all?
Right,
it's the same with you can do the same with skating, but. With skating is a little bit more technique, but I would say like or 100 kickflips 4 times. You can do that too.
Right.
I mean, I've never done that thing.
Mike Mo used to always do like 100 of each trick. So he would like go out to this little flat like spot he had in his back garden, and he would drill like kickflips for 100 times or like tray flips for 100.
Perfect.
And just do it like that, you know.
But if you add some timing to it, it also makes you having a great cardio session.
Yeah, true. True.
So it gives you also the possibility to get more fit.
Right.
Because doing 100 in like an hour, it's, I mean, fairly easy. But if you, let's say, is that true for 100 an hour?
100 what? 100 kickflips in an hour? I mean, you have to do like 1.2 or 3 a minute. No,
that's chill. That's
that
really
can be
chill.
done. That can be done. Yeah.
I once entered.
We should test that. We should have a competition. Like, see who does it first.
That's
You're fucking destroying me.
Oh, that's actually funny.
I would be down for doing for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We can do that. Yeah, 100 kickflips 4 times. But I remember
to get some shoe sponsor before that though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we can. I have this somebody hooked me up on Instagram with Sneaker Creed, it's called, and it's like this small bottle of what is it? It's like how do you say it? Like glue.
Okay.
But it's like some sort of super glue that makes your shoe super hard. You can feel, and it will never rip.
Oh, really? Interesting. And it's good because it's not like shoe glue where it's like real fucking hard and obvious.
And seriously, my shoes last maybe 2-3 weeks longer.
Really?
With this, I got it with you. I can. I got it with me, so I can. Thank you. Sneaker Creed, it's called. Yeah, like concrete sneaker creed, I think.
Nice.
But I once entered when I was how old was I? 16, I think. I'm 31 now, so it's a long time ago. But I entered this television program, and it was. I remember I was sitting at home. I entered some contest, like the simple session. I was sitting at home with like ankle, how do you say, I got hurt on my ankle, and I was watching TV. I saw this program where people had to do a certain maneuver, doesn't really matter what, in a certain time as a challenge.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I might enter with skateboarding. I think that could look cool in that program. So I wrote an email like, I think I can do, just out of my top of my head, I never tried it, like 30 kickflips in a minute. Really, I did it. Yeah. And then next thing you know, maybe the next day or the day after that, I got a call. They're like, hey, we think the challenge is really cool. Would you like to come to the office and try it? I'm like, I'm hurt right now, but I could in like a couple of weeks. So a couple of weeks went by, I came to the office and I tried it. And the first minute, that was also the first time I ever did it. So
you didn't even practice before going in?
I was like, I can do it. I was like super young. I thought I could do it. But the first minute was like
literally
27 or something. But I was like out of breath. Yeah, I was out of breath.
Damn, that's fucking impressive. I was expecting much less.
Oh, really?
No. 1 every 2
minute.
seconds.
It's pretty long. It's pretty long. A minute.
Yeah, but 1 every 2 seconds. Fuck. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Yeah.
But I'm sure you can do it. If you practice for it, you can do it. And then the second was I just hit 30. They were like, okay, we're gonna do for the program 25, so we're sure you make it.
Right.
I'm like, perfect. And so I remember that time that I actually invited my sponsors to come to the studio, and they all came, and I actually got paid for it pretty well. The program gave me €1,000 for it. And
as like a 16-year-old kid as well.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
like, fuck yeah, I'm
I
gonna
bought
buy
a
all
new
the candy.
laptop
Like,
and I think I invested into a skate trip, and
Nice.
Etnies actually paid me a little bit for that too. So
Yeah.
that was really cool. And I think with the program I had 26 or something.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
With some spare time because I already thought the clock stopped, but it didn't. So,
Right.
but it's cool. That's also cardio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
So random. I never really thought anyway. Yeah.
Man, so I've always wondered, like, to get a trick on lock, how long do you feel like you need to practice it for? And then it's obviously going to be different for like different tricks.
Yeah.
But on average, like, how long do you think you've got to practice it for? And then once you've got it locked in, how frequently do you need to do it to keep that trick locked?
Oh, I think that's a really,
It's a real
really
hard one to
yeah, it's
answer,
hard
but,
to
like,
answer.
Maybe for like a general flat trick or something like that.
I would say these days, if I learn a new trick, if I do it 3 times back to back, I officially can do it.
Right, yeah.
That's like some weird type of theory we have in the skate park where I grew up. It's like, if you do it once, that's cool, but if you do it 3 times, you officially learn a new trick.
That's sick though, because that really forces you to like get consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also now, if I film a clip, if I film a certain, if I film a single or if I film a line, I usually tend to do it 2 or 3 times, so I have stuff to choose from.
Right.
So that's also something that
Oh, even if you've landed it good,
yeah.
you'll still
Because
do
there's
it again.
always something that can be better, even the filming, or I can do some.
that's
I can do it
some
with
work ethic right
sunlight
there.
instead of with the clouds in front of the
Like
sun.
this, you don't like the rain.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's starting to rain a little bit more now. isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still.
For people who are listening, we're literally sitting outside in the rain right now.
Yeah,
At the bench at the local DIY.
it's still doable, but it's getting a little bit more wet. Yeah.
Let's hope it doesn't get worse.
But I would say what I've experienced is tricks can feel different by what day it is.
Yeah, totally.
And not
totally.
like with the day name, but like how you feel that day. So some days heel flip will feel more natural to me, so I do that more often than kick flip. But just I feel like choose your battles wisely. So whenever a trick is not working for you that day, you might not force it. Maybe there's something else laying in your way that day. You know?
100%.
Yeah, I think this is something that could be how do you say measurable for every skater.
Yeah, I think that's so true, man. Yeah, you got to listen to your body and go with what you feel like you can do on the day. And I often find as well that certain times that, like, let's say I can't do my basic tricks, I'll actually unlock tricks that I can't. I've never been able to do, even when I'm feeling amazing. You know, happened once with like switch flip back tails. Like I'd never done switch flip back tail before, and I was going for I was having the worst skate ever. Like, couldn't do like even kick flip on flat belly, and I was like, you know what? I kind of feel like maybe I could do a switch flip back tail, and fucking got it on like that day.
But that's with the expectations, because that, you know, like that's, it's the same with it's the same with like ending a session on like a 10 stair and you felt so good, and there's no way the next day you're gonna start at the 10 stair again. You also I mean, that's how I approach every session. You start with 0 and see where it ends up.
I love that. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it might end at the switch flip back tail, which is crazy, or you end up at like maybe whatever, doing the fastest kick flip you ever done or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Just something that's because skateboarding is so much that it's not really, there's not really one path.
Right.
And
So you don't really force things so much. You kind of just like go with the flow and see what your body wants to do on that day. And then
Exactly.
That's really
But
nice,
it is true, if you train more, you most likely feel more ready for more things.
Yeah, totally. Like you'll have
that's
more
so
available
general. I
routes.
mean, you know, but it's
No, but it's true. It's so true. Yeah, because I was going to ask then, you were saying like some days you feel on point. I was going to ask then, like, what are the things that you do to make yourself feel on point? Like, obviously, I know training's one of them. For me, like,
for sure.
If I'm on top of my training, like, I feel so much better and have so much more regular, good quality sessions than if I take a month off or whatever, for whatever reason.
So the thing is, you can feel limited in your technical ability, so to say. So switch flip back tail, switch flip out might not be in my streets, but I don't want to be limited by my physical abilities.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to say. And I usually skate with people that are younger than me, like 18, 19, 20, mid-20s. And they don't feel limited as well. So they like jump downstairs, they fresh out of the car, jumping downstairs straight away, you know, they don't really think about their proper warm-up, which is all fine.
I mean, when you're younger, you can handle it.
Exactly. But then I want to also be part of the group and don't feel limited by like, because I'm old.
Right, yeah. But
you know,
31's good.
Yeah. What's that?
31's good.
No, true. And I feel completely fine, and I I never feel like, oh, I would love to jump down a thing, but my knees and I'm old and all that stuff. No, it doesn't really, not yet comes to me like that. But you do have like maybe older generation or people from our age that do have it, you know?
Yeah,
that do feel like limited by their bodies. And,
100%.
But that's also maybe because it's a side effect of having a sitting job. Or it's a side effect of not skating too much or
and
not going
training,
to
not taking care of yourself.
Exactly,
as well.
exactly. Yeah.
What are some of the things then that you also do or feel have an impact on like getting to that point where you feel good on that day?
Food.
Food,
for sure. A lot of just don't eat too heavy before you go skating. Also, make sure you had a. What I've started to do is like eating warm in the midday.
Okay.
So my
like a warm meal,
like actually like a dinner almost.
Right.
And
like
then
Spanish style
then, exactly. Yeah. So in Spain it's the most normal thing ever, but like in the Netherlands where I'm from, it's a little bit more unusual.
Same in the UK, we have like a little sandwich.
Oh yeah,
That's it.
But it's so weird because then you have the whole day to actually burn all your calories, and then in the night you're gonna go heavy, and then you're gonna sit in front of the TV and just don't use all the energy that you took into your body. You know what I mean? Like it seems a little weird, but for me, if I eat in the midday like a good hot meal, my energy levels very constant the whole day, so I can just. Where all the other people are looking for food and be hungry, I can just skate as much as I want, kind of.
Yeah, nice.
And drink water, of course, and doing my stretches. Yeah, that really works too. Cool. But that's about it. Yeah.
All right, so you've skated in a fair amount of competitions.
Oh yeah,
and like won a fair amount of competitions as well. Like I haven't skated in competitions since I was like a little kid, and I used to enjoy them when I was a little kid, but I always remember there being like so much pressure
in the UK.
Even in the UK, and so in Australia as well. I lived in Australia for a little bit.
All right.
But like there was the pressure, and there was only like 4 people watching. Like so, how do you handle those situations, like competitions? Like there's a big mental aspect to it. Like what are your kind of hacks there? And
because I'm doing so many lines, I find it just natural to. How do I explain this? It's like
like all of your lines.
So I'm just approaching it like I'm just doing my line like I'm usually doing.
Right.
But now there are just a couple of people watching.
Right. Like the way that you skate with all your long lines is essentially how you would skate in a competition. Anyway.
Exactly. But I'm not doing it because I want to do it in competition. I do it because I enjoy skating that way.
Right.
So and also before I'm how do you say, like, you know, you're always looking on the list and the rider before your line, before you have to go, you're starting to get a little nervous. You're like, okay, so within like 45 seconds or maybe a minute, I have to actually perform. And as soon as I feel that coming into my head, I'm trying to make sure my breathing is okay. So I do like double nose in, mouth out.
The human.
Yeah.
Nice. Man.
Yeah, because that
really, really powerful. That.
Yeah, and you only have to do that 3 or 4 times, and then you bring your whole system to like ease.
100%.
That's really, it's really weird how that works. But you're standing on top of the quarter, and with the thought in your head, like, okay, this is just what I've practicing every day. This is actually what I'm doing on a daily. So now it's just maybe a coincidence that a lot of people are watching. I really approach it that way. Not too much pressure, and I also, worst case scenario, I don't land my tricks. I still can skate later today. I still can skate tomorrow, so nothing really changes.
Right. I love that way of thinking about it. Yeah.
But it's also like 10 years ago, it was different because then I was depending on the prize money and all that.
Right.
But then I also was younger, so I didn't give a shit either way. I was like, you're so, how do you say, like
careless.
Yeah, careless, exactly. You were careless.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it all worked out every single month, weirdly enough. Right. And now I'm in a place where I don't really need it. But now it's kind of a battle on myself. So it's like, or against myself, where it's like, okay, am I able to bring my nervous system down to a relaxing state? Right. Thinking about it's just a normal line that I'm doing every day. I know I have the cardio to actually not be out of breath after my minutes. Also, what I sometimes do, and I find that, and this is not for every contest, but what I find really relaxing is that a homie rides with me on the course with my phone, and he actually films the line.
Okay,
We did that a couple of times. So
That's
I look
sick.
and I see my homie filming,
Yeah,
and people in the crowd actually like that, and I use the
sick.
footage as like as a post for the contest. So
Yeah,
and then
nice,
it's
man.
really like, oh, we're just skating here, we're just doing the line.
Right. I
So,
like
but
that
the
a lot.
breathing is really essential for me.
Yeah.
And also in the contest where you have to do the one trick, one try thing.
Yeah.
Like the street league format is like double in, single out. So double in nose, like a deep breath into your nose, and then
The little extra.
the little extra, and then mouth out. You do that 3 or 4 times. You can already feel like a calmness over your whole body.
Yeah.
And then you just do the trick you've done for like 1,000,000 times, but now it's just there's a couple of more cameras
Right.
and a couple of more people watching, but that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's
And
a
you're
lot of
the one
practice.
skating, so everybody's watching you, so you're the example here, so that's already a good thing.
Yeah,
You know,
true.
yeah.
Yeah. Nah, that's amazing with the breathing thing and like the nervous system regulation. Like I do the same shit if I'm gonna go skate, like a big gap, or if I notice that like during a session I'm getting a bit agitated, I'll be like, okay, fuck, I need to like bring myself back down, because it's totally linked to like the way that your body and your mind are totally connected. So if you're like really agitated physically, you're much more likely going to be agitated mentally, and vice versa. So if you bring your physical down and bring yourself into a more relaxed state, as like a byproduct, your mind is also going to relax. And so
it's interesting how it works, but it's so logical at the same time.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I once
and it's such simple little things that people can do. Like anyone can fucking take this and be like, all right, I want to skate a big gap, or I want to skate in a competition. Like pay a bit of attention to how you're feeling physically, and if you're a bit agitated, just do some of these breathing things. And
And also the safety mechanism, try to turn that off for the moment. If you know you're gonna do something that you have done 1,000,000 times, only with 1 or 2 steps less.
Yeah.
When it comes to stair skating, or it's kind of simple, but there are tools that are really working. I got a
100%.
DM maybe a couple of months ago of this kid. He's like, "Hey Douwe, I've skated this contest, but I totally fucked up, and I even broke my board. I don't know how I can improve. Do you have tips for me? Because you're doing pretty good at contests and all that shit." I'm like, "Oh, thank you for sending me a message, but I think you seem like a young kid. I'm not sure if this is something for you, but the breathing could really work for you right before you drop in, and just think rationally that you've done these tricks like 1,000,000 times. So just do it. Now there are a couple more people watching, and you might win nice prizes if you land all of it, but that's all side effects of the thing that you're doing." And he got back to me. He did. I think he's like, "Oh, thank you so much for the answer." And then he got back to me like maybe a month later. It's like, "Oh, it really works. The breathing. I take that, and I really use that." So that was really cool.
That's amazing.
Because it felt
man.
a
That's
little
amazing.
bit like how do you say, it felt a little bit like a tryout, because if I was 16 or 18, I'm not sure how old he was, I wouldn't care about breathing. Fuck that. I would drink a beer or
You're
a
like,
Gatorade.
this fucking guy, what's he
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
Fuck that.
But it worked. So I'm happy.
That's amazing,
happy.
man. That's really fucking cool. That's really cool. What about like, are there any like differences when you're skating in the streets to regulate fear, or do you use that same breathing technique if you're in the streets?
Sometimes, but that's something when I'm really energized. I'm skating with the homies and we're trying to really destroy the park, you know, because they're young and they have a lot of testosterone, and they're screaming all over, let's go. And I really like this vibe. But sometimes it really works. Like, it's like you're standing on top of a stair set, and you know it's possible. You're like, dude, what does this stair think? I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna do it. And then, you know, like this kind of, you're trying to.
Oh wait, what
you're
does the
trying.
stair set
Yeah. You're trying to approach it as like a fight, you against the stair set. Yeah. But this sometimes really works. It's not for everybody, but sometimes you're in the vibe with your friends, and you feel like. I mean, you need a little bit of testosterone for this.
Yeah.
But this can work.
I'm gonna fucking have you stairs.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's sick. I like that.
Yeah. True. And I can't let the stair set win. What the fuck is it? Like stuff like that. That kind of work. And we all find our own ways that work. So this might work for one day, and another day when I have a really more serious session, the breathing works better, and it works better to actually build up your confidence level with doing the tricks that are a little bit less hard than the one you want to do. Like the fakie ollie and the fakie flip, like that example.
Yeah.
So just depending on what day, different mechanisms work. Yeah.
Cool. Have you ever figured out any like secret, like general secret hacks to skating? Say body position or like flicking fast or like
shoulders.
Any, like, real shoulders. Okay.
I would say people that ask me for trick tips or for any trick that they're messing up and they try to improve, it's usually shoulders.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, it can be a coincidence, but like it's usually so tray flip landing sideways or back flip not turning all the way. It's all because essentially your shoulders are your steering wheel. So whatever they do, your body will follow.
Yeah, totally.
I feel
totally.
like.
Yeah, completely agree.
So this is kind of a skater.
About it in terms of a steering wheel, though. I really like that.
Yeah, because then it's a little bit more visualized, you know.
100%.
It's the same with the training we did. Like imagine there's a stick from your ankle all the way to your whatever, to your butt, and keep that like stuff like that.
Stick into the butt.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't put any sticks in the butt.
No. But I mean from your ankle all the way to your hips. Sorry. Yeah. That's a better example. But and also. What I find is that good days will come and bad days will come, but I think the holistic thing is also if that's a bad day and you recognize it as a bad day, don't push it because that's where you get hurt. At least for me. So whenever you feel tired or you feel overtrained, I mean, it could be a sign that it's overtraining or just didn't sleep well, or whatever, your dog died or you have some stress on your mind, just don't, like, you can cruise around and do easy ollies and try to keep it safe that day. And then good days will come and you will definitely recognize them because everything just feels, you know, everything just feels like a natural. And then also just show up. That's also
like
one.
Be consistent and skate frequently.
Yeah. So whenever all the conditions are against you, just show up. Not here in the wet skate park, of course, but
show up for the interview.
Yeah, exactly. We did, but that really helped me because then sometimes I did my computer work and I did my training and it's 4 o'clock. I know the skate park closed at 6. Half an hour drive. Fuck it, I just go and then I don't really feel like skating when I get there and I get influenced by people that's trying something that's kind of easy on the body and I just do it and then it still end up being a good way.
Nice.
Or a good day, sorry. So that's the kind of thing, just show up.
Man, go into the shoulder thing a little bit more. Like how have you noticed that leads to like helping with different tricks?
I mean, it's just also filming yourself doing it and then you can see that you're not turning enough and also seeing different people making the same mistakes.
Right.
That's also something that, how do you say, that's obvious, that it's the shoulder thing. But I don't know. People definitely when you jump downstairs, like you said yourself with the nollie flip on the 5.
Yeah, exactly. That was my shoulders fucking up the rest.
Yeah. Your shoulders were trying to go into the safety mode by turning outwards.
Yeah.
To have more overview over wherever you're gonna land.
Exactly. To be able to land like 2 feet. Be comfortable.
Really unnatural if you jump down the stairs without a board to jump sideways.
Yeah. 100%.
It's super unnatural. 100%. So it's kind of natural to turn your shoulders into a more open position. So this is something I always keep in mind. It's kind of a hack, but yeah. For the rest, I don't really know. For the rest, it's also just cold hard practice.
Right.
Unfortunately, you know.
Which is what people don't want to hear. But
also fortunately, I would say, because imagine doing a backside heel flip. It doesn't work that day, and but it's a mission. You try to work on it 3 hours long, and then you finally get the 3 lands, so you officially do it. Then maybe 2 weeks later you do it first or the second try. It actually is worth the 3 hours, you know.
Right. Exactly.
So I always think about it that way. You're like, okay, I put in the 3 hours, but now apparently it's kind of a muscle memory.
What about like tech tricks? Any kind of like flip outs or anything like that? Any hack that you've noticed of like real technical tricks? Yeah,
what I recently learned was I recently got into switch flip back 50s because I was that's my goal for 2024, is like trying to switch flip into grinds more because I just think it's a good looking trick.
Yeah.
But then I was always trying to switch flip over the curb and then put it straight onto the curb. You know what I mean? So I would,
it's like going too high almost.
Like trying to switch flip sideways over the curb and then turn my body straight, and then I would almost not go parallel, but sideways on the curve. You know,
okay.
so, yeah.
So like at an angle, you mean?
Yeah. So we'll take an angle. But then I just discovered that if I go straight and I pretend that I'm doing a switch back Smith, so I switch flip into like a more of a back Smith position.
Are we talking switch flip back 50 here?
Yeah. But if I think about switch flip back Smith, I always get into back 50. So that works for me.
Right, because it forces you to like over rotate almost.
Yeah, you know, it forces me to actually flip into a position where I always flip. So I sometimes miss my flick with a switch flip.
Right.
Then my board just goes rocket, and I flip completely. I'm
because
coming,
your foot's gonna go off the side of the board, and when you go back Smith, you'd have to flick a bit more into the board.
Exactly.
Yeah,
okay. So my point actually is, so sometimes your head has to think about a different trick doing another trick.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
100%. Yeah, 100%, man.
So because all that
agree.
the angle of the switch flip back 50 and all that, it was pure focus on the switch flip back 50, and it almost never worked a little bit, but I thought I had it on the good hand.
Yeah.
But then I saw somebody doing it, I don't know where, but it really looked like he was going to do a switch flip back Smith, but he did a switch flip back 50.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, so that's the case. So I just, it's like also a mindset, because,
right.
And also what I find interesting is like somebody can do the most craziest tricks, like nollie full cap flip Manny 180 out, some shit like that, but it's when you're younger, it seems almost unhuman to see somebody do that. Mm-hmm. But essentially, it's just putting in the hours, and you will get there. So it's so what I've learned over the years, like the more you peel something off, so a whole trick, a whole movement, if you peel it off by piece, it's doable for, I would say, almost everybody.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
as long as you work on the steps.
Exactly.
You'll be able to put them together, and
it's the same as a
trick.
pull-up. In the beginning, it's like, how do you do that? You know.
Yeah.
But then if you work on the steps,
banded, and you do it like little by little,
negative,
100%.
Exactly, you do it negative, too. Yeah, so that's also something I've learned, that everybody is capable of more that they might know, but you just have to peel it off,
right?
And really see it step by step.
So true, man. So true. I think that's so valuable for people to hear as well, because it's also you've got to believe that you can do it.
Yeah,
as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because if you don't believe, you're not going to be willing to put in the effort. And when you hear someone like you say that, like everyone can do it, I hope that will help people have that belief that like, okay, yeah, true. Actually, if I do just keep practicing and keep doing it, like I can also.
Because that's also what my coach says. He's also a skateboarder and a physical trainer, a really good one. But what he says is like most people, and especially in the fitness, the people that I train, he only does PT, so only personal trainings. But what he says, mostly what people are limited by is their own thoughts.
100%, man. Yeah.
You know what
100%.
I mean? Like, because it doesn't matter if you're whatever. In his case, like, and it doesn't matter what kind of person you train. Everybody could essentially learn a pull-up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, oh no, that's not for me, and it's crazy to see, or like. Walking on your hands, like I would never do that, but it's your own thoughts doing this.
Yeah, true. And I notice as well with a lot of people that I'll train that they're not aware of how strong they are.
Yeah, exactly.
So they'll be like, oh no, I could never lift that. And then you give them like progressively a little bit more weight. Yeah. And then in 5 minutes, they're already doing double what they originally thought they could do.
It's so funny.
It's so interesting.
And that also translates perfectly to skating.
Yeah, exactly.
Because skateboarding is just super hard. Otherwise, every skate park would be packed and everybody would do it.
Exactly.
Because it's the best feeling
ever.
Scootering. Exactly. Unfortunately, that's true.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, it's also skateboarding gives you this sense of like achievement, because tricks are really hard to learn. So I think if it would have been easier, then we would have probably not sit here.
Yeah. True.
We would probably go for something else that's harder.
Yeah.
Like playing chess or something else. So I mean something with a little bit more risk into it. But
So. Risky chess. Balancing on some kind of pole.
Yeah.
Between, like, two mountains or something.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Extreme chess.
Yeah, extreme chess. Wow, that's it.
All right, so.
Oh, have you seen it? There was actually, I'm not sure where it was, but they would play chess and box.
Oh yeah.
So they do off and on. So they would box for like 1 minute round, I think kickbox or box, and then they will play chess for one step
amazing.
or like maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll go back.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
Send me that.
Yeah. I think I'm not sure if I can find it again, but I heard it.
All right, so we've covered so much stuff, and we've already given out so much advice for so many people. But like, if you were gonna give some advice to some kids who want to really progress and like get real good at skating, things that maybe we haven't already covered, or if you want to like summarize things that we've covered, whatever, what are some like final things, like the keys to progression in your opinion?
I mean, keys to progression in my eyes are just show up, even though you don't feel like it, because I mean, we're all skating for fun, so if you just show up at the skate park, there must be something you can do that's fun that day, even though you don't feel like it. And also, skateboarding is really hard, so keep that in mind. Mostly tricks don't come easy. So if you want to go for the quick fix, you can pick up your scooter, maybe. No. That's no. And
but it's true.
Yeah, it is kind of true.
It is. I mean, that's why so many kids start scootering, because it's just easy. Easy.
I actually asked them multiple times, like, "Hey, why do you scooter?" It's like, "Yeah, because all my friends do it." "Yeah, but why do they do it?" "Yeah, but we do skate as well." I'm like, "Yeah, but why didn't you come here with your skateboard?" "Yeah, because it's easier."
Yeah, exactly.
It always peels down.
Easier.
Like there is a little cover, but then it peels down into it's easier.
Yeah, 100%.
Unfortunately. But I do have respect for the people that actually are, how do you say?
Like killing it on a scooter.
Yeah, exactly.
Like people do some crazy shit.
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
I think when you get to that level, then it gets hard.
Yeah, then it gets hard.
And then it's like, okay, you've got to put in the work. But like that beginning level.
But that's exactly the people we don't mean by scootering. With scootering,
exactly.
we mean the kids.
Exactly, yeah.
They want to go.
No hate for like scooter people if they fucking.
Exactly,
they
for sure.
enjoy it, like whatever, go for it.
And also, but these mentality things are also in line with the kids nowadays want to be famous, want to be this famous rapper, and like want to all go for the quick fix. You know what I mean?
Right, 100%. Like, yeah, it's like a quick fix society.
Yeah. Sure. And skateboarding is exactly not that. So remember, always skateboarding is hard. Whenever tricks are not working, try to not force it. Whenever tricks do work that day, then take it as well. Try new stuff, and apparently you got it that day, so you might as well. How do you say? You might as well get the most out of it.
Yeah.
That's what happened to. That's what happened multiple times with me, where there are just days where your body feels one with your board, and you just try something new, and you try to push it a little bit more. And what else? If you're into training, then you should follow you and your program, the Daily Push. I think that could be a good one. And also, but the best advice is just show up.
Nice.
Yeah, I think this is the one.
Cool.
Yeah.
How many days a week do you skate actually, and like how long is a normal session?
It's variables, because here in Barcelona, where everything is centralized about skateboarding, then my Apple Watch could actually tell me that I skated for maybe 300 to 350 minutes a day. It's fucking crazy. It's like skating so much from spot to spot is also skating. So,
right, yeah.
But like a good session is like around
like
2 hours.
6 hours. No?
Yeah, it's like 2 good hours, like intensively skating.
And when you're back home?
Yeah, that's like when I'm back home.
When you're back home, yeah.
But here, just the whole day. You see another spot, okay, and then you get a good sweat session in, and actually film some tricks, and then you go into the next one. But I would say usual day is like going to the gym, depending on how intense my session is planned. My skate sessions are planned. Let me put this right. I go I go to the gym in the morning, and if I have a really intense skate session planned, then the rest of the day I do it a little bit more easy. So a little sweat, maybe some pull-ups, more upper body than lower body, some mobility stretches, and then I go skate for maybe 2 to 3 hours, and then
how many times a week would that be?
Let's say Monday, Tuesday I have personal training. Wednesday I usually do some accessory work, and then Thursday probably some good cardio as well, and then Friday also, and Saturdays and Sunday at least one day.
Okay, and like skate sessions, how many?
Let's say five 4 or 5 days a week. Yeah,
Cool.
more likely 5. Yeah.
Why don't you go every day?
Everyday skating?
Yeah.
Because I think I don't even know. It happens that I'm skating every day, but sometimes I just have a day where I see family, or a day where it just doesn't really comes natural.
Right.
So, but I would say it's kind of the same. But yeah, when I'm at home, I try to, and it's like bad weather, then I try to more focus on the gym, so that keeps me actually really fit. So for the time I'm on trip or go somewhere else where it's fully about skating, I can just have no limits.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
No,
So yeah, that's kind of
100%.
so when I'm at home, it's more like serious training time, skateboarding too, but more how do you say, like as an extra.
Right.
Not all days, but like more days I approach skateboarding as an extra and training as like the full, because that actually keeps me fit. And then the rest of the days are like fully skating, and when I'm on trip, it's fully skating. So I try to also stay away from the gym a little bit.
Yeah, fair. Nice, man. Nice, cool. So it's kind of like what you were saying before about like raising your center. You're like, by focusing more on the gym and like the physical training, you're raising your physical center kind of thing to be able to skate more.
Exactly, because that's a really safe way to how to say to give you longevity into skateboarding. I feel like.
Yeah.
And I've done that for quite some years
100%.
Now, so I'm pretty confident that it's true.
Yeah, dude, fucking 3,000%. Like,
I guess
if I wasn't training now, like, like you're 31, I'm 33. Like, if I wasn't training now, like, I don't think I would be skating even like a third of the amount. And
that's
like,
funny.
The intensity of the sessions, or like the size of the gaps or whatever. I feel like, I just wouldn't be able to handle it.
Do you feel like the last couple of years it got out of the shadow zone a little bit, and
training?
And skaters are actually showing more what they're able to do in the gym as well?
I think so, man. Yeah, it's been like a real slow transition. Like when I started the Daily Push, like no one was really doing anything or like talking about anything. You searched online like skate training stuff, and like there was just nothing. You know, just like I would find web pages from random doctors who were like, the best thing you can do to protect yourself from skateboarding is just to not do it, you know? That's
no
like
way.
what you can find. And like,
but it's true.
What skaters, yeah, it's true. Although, man, I also feel though, skating is actually, if you combine it with training and you don't like push yourself too hard, skating can actually be one of the best things you can do to keep your body fresh. Yeah. Because you're exposing, it's also like depends on how hard you push it, but you're exposing yourself to impact, which is amazing for your joints, for your bone health, for just keeping your body on point. You've got the cardio benefit. You've got like.
Is it not bad for your knees, as a lot of people pretend? Like, is it in line with like, I don't run because it's bad for my ankles and knees? Like,
well, the whole running thing, and this could relate to skating as well. So there were studies done on people who didn't run. People who were like, you know, intermediate runners who just did it a few times a week, kind of recreationally, and then elite runners. And the ones who were doing it recreationally, like within that threshold of not too much, it had a protective effect on the knees.
Yeah, exactly.
The ones who didn't do it at all had worse knees than all of them, and the elite ones were in a worse state than that group in the middle. And I think you could say the same for skating, whereas like, if you aren't fucking yourself up and you're making an effort to train, to take care of yourself, like the stuff that you do, like your skating, food, all this stuff, like skating can have a protective effect on your body. And I mean, maybe if you're Jaws, that's the end of the spectrum where like you're going to fuck yourself up. But for the average person who's got like a seated job and doesn't do any sport, you will have
running actually can be bad for your knees if you're having that.
I think combined with skating as well, because there's already so much impact, then adding the extra impact from running could be
do you have some general advice for people when it comes to food?
For food, I think it kind of going like the whole conversation's been around like working on the basics, and I think with food, like the basics is really important. Just eating like a nice wide variety of mainly whole and like minimally processed foods, getting in enough protein for you, and just trying to get a lot of just like good quality food variety, and just working on the basics. Yeah, that's what I would say in like one sentence.
And how are you feeling about this? Because I don't know where I read this, but I heard that was it the Floyd Mayweather always after a training he eats a Snicker,
really?
and a Coca-Cola. And the idea is to get the sugar back into your muscles for better.
Well, I mean, yeah, so I think that's important if you're going to go skate 2 times in the day, or if you're going to work out and then skate later in the day, because you've got to think like you've only got a certain quantity of like energy store in your body for like high intensity movements like training or skating. So if you waste all of that energy in the training session or in the skate session, then you're going to have less energy for that second skate session or second training session. So if you want to train or skate twice in the same day, getting in some like fast digesting carbs like a Coke or a Snickers straight after that first session is definitely going to help you have more energy for that second session.
Perfect.
So yeah, I think,
that's something people can definitely use.
Yeah,
that's definitely usable info.
Yeah, man.
Cool. So he isn't wrong. He isn't wrong.
Nah, he's okay. I mean, he's got the best trainers in the world. Yeah, exactly. For sure. Like, he knows.
So that's
doing.
why I was like, there must be something in there. But it is.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, man. So, well, that's all of my questions.
Perfect.
Except for last one. Any projects that you're working on at the moment?
Am I? Yeah, actually, I have some footage left from a part, so I'm gonna definitely fill that up for a full-length part. I'm not sure with who or what, but I feel like that's. I mean, that's a whole different talk again. But I feel like skate parts are now a little bit, for me at least, a side project for all the other stuff that I'm doing with sponsors. But I'm definitely doing more projects with sponsors. But coming to skate parts, it's not. It's like a lot of effort for a minimal reward.
Yeah,
I would say so. So it's, but it's getting a little bit more prioritized on my list now. But I'm working together at Real with my clothing sponsor for my own pants. So this is something that's coming out.
That's your own pant company?
No, it's not my own pants company. It's a company that I've been writing for 7 or 8 years. So so we're talking about my own pants now. So we actually ordered just the samples, and it's going to be really nice. So hopefully this is going to go out soon. Not soon, but probably in September around that time.
Sick.
And then what else? Just working together with the gym. That's cool. I have a sponsorship with the gym, and that's really nice. So we're doing some cool projects together. Also with the rest of my sponsors. I try to collab as much as possible, and
cool.
Yeah, and maybe maybe beat my world record on the nose mani this year.
Oh yeah, how long's that?
500 meters, so half a kilometer. Yeah. But talking about endurance, this was so hard. I really
I imagine after
bro, what
meters.
the hell? Yeah. No, it was kind of a slow downhill. So if I would have gone faster, that would have been more efficient, but we couldn't really find the right spot. So this was the best spot for it to do. And then, but the burn in my shoulders, it was really...
In the shoulders
in the shoulders, because of all the balancing the whole time. I don't know how you call this muscle.
Having to keep your arm up for so long.
But you have to, because if you do this, you're not balancing anymore.
Man,
so, and it took me maybe 6 or 7 tries, but the first few tries, I was I was bending too much, so the tension on my quads and my hips was insane.
Right.
So the tries after that, I tried to stay a little bit more upwards, and that really worked. But still, it was so intense because the fast bit was a little bit on the end, and I was like, okay, if there's a stone or something under my wheel now, I can't even have the power to press myself
hold
up.
Your own body weight up.
So I will just slam and embrace it all. So, but it was really it was sketchy as fuck.
What's the goal for the next record?
Oh, I don't know, but it just seems like a funny thing to do. Maybe 501.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. Well, dude, this has been absolutely amazing. We got so much useful knowledge and wisdom out of you. I think a lot of people are going to find this really valuable.
Thank you for inviting.
It's amazing to hear how you think about these kind of things with skating.
Thanks.
Dude, it's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for letting me be here in the lounge.
Thanks for putting up with the weather.
We were sitting in some rainy times, but it's okay.
My right hand from holding the microphone is freezing.
Oh, really?
It's so cold. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. Then we cut this off now.